The world of whaling. The ocean does not forget. In 1819, men believed they had mastered it. They were wrong. This is not a legend. This is not fiction. This happened. The departure, 1819.
In the early 19th century, the world's oceans were not empty. They were alive with danger, mystery, and ambition. In the year 1819, from the quiet island of Nantucket, a wooden whale ship named Essex slipped into the Atlantic Ocean. She was not large, she was not new, but she carried something powerful within her hull, the hopes of profit, pride, and survival. 21 men stood on her deck as the shoreline faded. They believed the sea could be mastered. They believed experience would protect them. They were wrong. Their journey was meant to last 2 years. It would instead become one of the most horrifying survival stories ever recorded. The Essex was commanded by George Pollard, Jr., a young captain, respected but untested by true catastrophe. At his side was first mate Owen Chase, disciplined, capable, and confident. Early in the voyage, disaster offered its first warning. A sudden squall struck the ship with brutal force. Sails tore, the mast suffered damage, the hull groaned. The sensible choice was clear: turn back. But pride is louder than reason at sea. The officers chose to continue, carrying a wounded ship deeper into the most isolated waters on Earth. That decision sealed their fate. By November of 1820, the Essex had entered the vast emptiness of the South Pacific. No land, no rescue, no mercy. It was there that the impossible happened. As the crew hunted sperm whales, one massive bull surfaced nearby. 85 feet long, silent, still. Unlike every whale before it, this one did not flee. It turned. With deliberate force, the creature rammed the Essex. The ship shuddered, but remained afloat. Moments later, the whale returned. This time, the impact shattered the hull. Water poured in, the ship tilted, and within minutes, the Essex vanished beneath the sea. 20 men stood floating in the open ocean, watching their world sink. They had no ship, no shelter, only 3 small whaleboats, and the vast Pacific ahead of them. Adrift thousands of miles from land, the crew faced a decision that would haunt history. Nearby islands existed, but sailors whispered rumors of cannibals. Fear overruled logic. Instead of sailing west with favorable winds, they chose to attempt a 4,000-mile journey east against the ocean itself. It was a fatal mistake. Days turned into weeks. The sun burned their skin raw. Salt split their lips. Water vanished first. Rations were measured in crumbs. Hope evaporated faster than sweat. Men weakened. Minds slipped. One by one, they began to die. And when death came, it did not end suffering. It began survival's darkest chapter. When food was gone and bodies failed, the unthinkable became necessary. The dead were consumed by the living, not from cruelty, not from madness, but because the sea had stripped them of every other choice. Bones were cleaned, flesh was rationed, silence replaced prayer. The ocean watched without judgment. On Captain Pollard's boat,
Starvation reached a point where even death refused to come. So the men drew lots, a lottery of life. The one chosen was Pollard's own cousin, 16-year-old Owen Coffin. The boy accepted his fate without resistance. He was shot, he was eaten, and the men lived on, carrying a weight heavier than hunger. After more than 90 days at sea, rescue finally appeared. Passing ships found what remained: living skeletons, sun-blinded eyes, hands clutching bones. Of the original 21 men, only 8 survived. They were not saved, they were returned. The world struggled to comprehend what they had endured. The sea had not simply tested them, it had stripped them bare. Years later, this true story would echo through literature, inspiring Harold Melville to write Moby Dick. But the novel softened one truth. In reality, the whale did not represent obsession, it represented consequence. The tragedy of the Essex remains a warning carved into maritime history. Not about monsters, but about human arrogance. Because the ocean does not need to be evil, it only needs to be indifferent. And sometimes it answers when challenged.